Hey everyone, Rick Albert here. Today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why we're not going to see massive foreclosures or major price reductions. Let's get started. Okay, so there's this belief that we're going to see massive foreclosures. Why? Well, because people have lost their jobs, they've stopped making payments, right? Everyone's into forbearance, and at some point, those forbearance options, meaning they can push out their mortgage, is going to expire, right? Some people will be able to push it out for 6 months, some for up to a year, and that year is going to come up, right? It's going to be probably first or second quarter of next year. So at least here in Los Angeles, people are thinking, well, at some point they're all going to end up in foreclosure. But I'm here to tell you that may not be the case. And of course, time will tell, but here's a couple of reasons why. First, the majority of Americans have equity in their homes. Looking at from a nationwide perspective, approximately 90% of homeowners have at least 10% equity. That means if they need to sell, they're better off putting their home on the market, getting it sold, rather than going through the foreclosure process. And because you can't necessarily time that, it's going to trickle in, which will go into the next point. But before we get there, for a lot of people, they'll be able to reset, right? If they need the cash, sell, cash out, and start over. For example, I just closed last week on an amazing condo for one of my buyers, and those sellers needed to sell. They lost their jobs, they were in forbearance, and they just tapped out. So they had to go to the market. But that's today, right? And as we start seeing more of those, it's going to roll over into next year. But because it's all not going to get hit at once, it's unlikely that we're going to see major price reductions. Rolling into point number 2, which is inventory is so freaking low. So take Los Angeles County, for example. We're at about 3 months supply and inventory, meaning if no new homes came to the market, it would only take 3 months for everything to sell. That is fast. In order for it to be a balanced market, it would take 6 months. That means we would need literally double the inventory for it just to be a balanced market. That doesn't necessarily mean price reductions. The likelihood of that happening is low because, again, people can start trickling in their listings and it'll get quickly absorbed. By way of example, for one of my other clients, we were one of 35 offers on a property here in the San Fernando Valley. That means only one lucky buyer got it, but that house probably could have been sold another 34 times. My latest listing on Pembroke in Santa Clarita, I got 5 offers. I probably could have sold that home 10 times over with the amount of showings, the amount of effort that had gone into it. So that becomes part of the play as well. The third, and I think this is one of the most overlooked reasons, is home ownership is more important now than ever. People have been quarantined, whether it's in their 2-bedroom apartment, whether it's in their ADU, and they're like, I gotta move. I need to do something. I need outdoor space. I need my own private office, right? So now people are starting to rethink where I'm living today, is that viable? And if not, then I need to make a move. Whether it means more buyers coming to the market, whether it be sellers now thinking, okay, I need to move. Take some people that might be older, right? Kind of that older generation. They might want to downsize. Now that with COVID's hit, they're being forced into retirement and they want to cash out, move out of state, right? That's an option as well. So nowadays, people are really focusing on what matters to them and does their current home meet that criteria? And for some people it does, some people it doesn't. The fourth reason is low interest rates. So why is that important? Well, because buyers can actually afford more now than they could even last year. And we're talking like tens of thousands of dollars more in terms of a purchase price, right? So for example, I had a client who bought a house a little over 2 years ago. His interest rate was 4.25%. He's down to, I think, about 3%. I had a client, we just closed on his place. He got 2.5% interest. He did pay some points up front, but he's thinking long term. But the reality is, I mean, that's almost free money, right? We're looking to refinance our house and we're in that process. And if all goes as planned, we'll be saving another $600-700 a month off our mortgage. which also keeps inventory low, right? Because some sellers might rethink and say, well, I know how competitive it is out there. I like my home. I might as well just refinance and take advantage of the low rates. So that's really forcing people to move. And it's really actually helping first-time home buyers who couldn't afford a certain price point, right? Because as a recap, think of your payments like a pie. And part of that pie is the principal, part of that's the interest rate. But you qualify for the same amount, same dollar amount, no matter what. So if you can only afford $2,000 a month, it doesn't matter if it's 90% interest and 10% principal or the other way around, that's what you're qualified for. So the lower the interest rate means more principal you can purchase, which means a higher price point you can purchase. The fifth is homeowners have options. What do I mean by that? I mean, back in 2008 and 2009, 2010, your only option was foreclosure. Banks were not helping whatsoever. Now you can do loan modifications, right? You can refinance if you need to. You can continue to defer payments. There's about 5 or 6 different options. You can check them out at rickalbertonline.com for the article that's on this specific topic, and you'll be able to get more options there if you are one of those homeowners that's struggling. But the reality is, again, you're a struggling homeowner who can't make your payments. You have flexibility that you didn't have before, which is why we're not going to likely see that same crash. Love to get your thoughts. This is kind of a big deal because some people are waiting. Some buyers are like, I'm going to stay on the sideline and wait for that big crash. And I don't see it happening. People thought it was going to happen back in June, July, August, and yet here we are. So love to get your thoughts. Comment below, share with your friends, but most importantly, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Hey everyone, hopefully you liked the video. If so, please don't forget to give it a like, maybe show some love in the comments. Also don't forget to subscribe. We do have other videos posted. Please go ahead and watch them, enjoy them. They'll be posted somewhere here. Feel free to click or just view the channel in general. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next week.